This week's Torah portion is Korach. And Korach has special significance for me because our oldest grandson, Jacob, was bar mitzvah in Portland, Maine, and his parsha was Korach. And for that event, I read Torah for the very first time in my life, 3 lines of Torah, for which I practiced interminably. As a youth in New York growing up, when we were bar mitzvah, we were not asked to read Torah, so this was the very first occasion that really was quite special for me. And so I was delighted to have the opportunity to revisit Korach, the friend Korach, for this week as well. And there's another special event that frames this, my presentation or my drash, and that is that I just had my 80th birthday and told Rabbi Kravitz that I would appreciate the opportunity to give a drash on that occasion, and he gave me that opportunity. So here we are at Korach, and Korach occurs in the desert at a very, very difficult time in the life of the Israelites. Last week they were just told that they would never reach the promised land because of the incident with the spies and their rebelliousness. And now out of the midst of this group, two groups, out of the midst of these events, 2 groups arise and challenge the authority of Moses and Aaron and try to take on that authority for themselves. And they are disposed of very, very dramatically by God. You do not need to read Harry Potter in order to get really high drama in literature. Just read the Torah. The earth opens up and they're swallowed up, and those who are not swallowed up are incinerated by essentially a bolt of flame that comes from on high. And the authority of Moses and Aaron is established through these events. But the people are still dissatisfied, still murmuring. And it's easy to characterize the Jews, our ancestors at that time, as being unworthy of the privileges of selection that was given them. And yet, despite all of the hardships that they endured in the desert, despite knowing that they would never be able to reach the promised land because they had angered God, they persist in their mission. And more than that, not only did they continue to voyage across the desert for 40 years, but they learn Torah, they live Torah, and they teach Torah to their children, all the while complaining about their conditions. And that characteristic, I think, of perseverance, of love of learning, in the middle of contentiousness, are qualities, I think, that have been gifted to us throughout the generations, and that still characterize us as a people. We love to learn, we love to argue, and it's my fondest hope that we'll continue to do so for many, many generations, for all generations to come. Shabbat Shalom.